Hello and welcome to another Flying Reporter Aerodrome review. Today I'm on my way to Eshott in Northumberland, and as you can see, it's an interesting day to go flying. So I'm here up above the clouds at flight level 080. There's quite a lot of low cloud around southern and eastern England, as you can see. So I've punched above the cloud on departure from Earl's Cone, heading up to Eshott. It's almost a direct track without any problems or deviation. Eshott is an airfield with 2 hard runways and one parallel grass runway. They are quite short. We're talking 500 metres and 610 metres. The circuit diagrams are, there is some noise abatement. I'm going to be using the Poulies overlay, or should I say the Sky Demon overlay, to display the circuits. As you can see, they're not exactly rectangular. In terms of airspace in the area, we've got Newcastle to the south, we've got some wind farms off to the east, some high ground off to the west, or moderately high ground off to the west, but other than that it's in open airspace.
The airfield describes itself as challenging if it's your first time in. Steep approaches are required, and they ask that you get prior permission, known as PPR, if you're coming in, so you can get a good briefing. Before I land though, I'm going to take a momentary detour to fly over the market town of Alnwick, just 8 miles to the north, because there's word of some magical things going on there.
Warning, traffic right, 1 o'clock, 2 miles, left to right, 400 feet below, a broomstick, manoeuvring.
Hang on a minute, what is that? Not seen that before.
At Alnwick you'll find Alnwick Castle, better known for being the home of the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from Harry Potter.
Warning, traffic, 12 o'clock, 1 mile, reciprocal heading, same level, a broomstick.
I think we better get out of here sharpish. Don't particularly want to have an air prox with a pilot on a broomstick. That won't end well. Probably cast some horrible spell.
Profit, the killer final on runway 19, touch.
So it sounds like they're actually on runway 19, which is going to have a crosswind from the left. It's a right-hand circuit, and this runway is 600 metres.
Off limit Sierra, lining up 19.
Eshott Radio, Golf Bravo Mike, India Victor, PA28 Arrow, we're 10 miles to the east inbound, request aerodrome information.
Eshott is unlicensed, and I'm arriving a bit late in the day. There's no reply to my initial call, so I proceed to make blind calls.
Eshott Radio, Golf India Victor is 5 miles to the east, joining overhead, runway 19, right-hand circuit, Golf India Victor.
Consul uniform, backtracking runway 19.
Runway 19 is the aerodrome's preferred runway. They request that you join overhead at height 1,500 feet and then descend as usual on the dead side to 1,000 feet. With the runways short and on advice of the airfield, a steep approach is preferred. The runway is in good condition. There's parking on an apron at the southwestern side, but it was full when I landed.
And indeed, it's a very warm welcome to Eshott. If you take a left at the onto the grass there, and I'd suggest parking just up by the clubhouse. Quite busy over there on the other side.
Roger, near the historic vehicle on the grass there.
Hey, firm.
Beware that the taxiway at the end of runway 19 is not really suitable for taxiing along, with potholes and loose stones. As soon as I saw that, I taxied across the grass instead. The Flying Reporter Aerodrome Review is sponsored by AOPA UK, the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. AOPA works behind the scenes to ensure our views are represented at government and regulatory level. I'm an AOPA member because I'm concerned about the closure of aerodromes, the cost of training, red tape and access to airspace. If these things concern you too, why not join AOPA as well to help them do more for us? Right now, Flying Reporter followers can get a 25% discount off new 1- and 2-year memberships by using the QR code on your screen, the link in the corner, or the link in the video description. As always, to pay your landing fee, you need to follow the yellow Charlie sign. That's at the Aerodrome Clubhouse. The prices are very reasonable.
I do like to give a bit of background about the places I visit because very often our British airfields are steeped in wartime history. From what I can gather, Eshott opened in 1942. It was an RAF training base, predominantly training Spitfire pilots. During that time, I think up to 2,000 people were based on site, up to 100 aeroplanes as well. After the war, the site was returned to agricultural use and it reopened as a civilian airfield in 1990.
It's now home to a busy flying school teaching the PPL and LAPL, the restricted instrument rating and tailwheel training. They also offer sightseeing flights and experience flights in the Tiger Moth and Chipmunk.
Now, at the time of recording, Eshott here has been in somewhat of a battle with the local authority. I know airfields get that from time to time, but you've had a really rough time. Sam Woodgate is one of the airfield operators here. What's been going on?
Yeah, so there was some quite archaic conditions that we had within the airfield planning that were making operating virtually impossible. So silly little things such as we can't be on the site before 9 o'clock. Now, no business can operate under a condition like that. Obviously, we need to arrive, test the fuel, get ready for the day, get the fuel bowser out, etc. So silly, there was petty little things like that, but kind of the key area of disagreement was over the military. Military and Coast Guard refuelling, which has been happening here for a number of years, and actually there was a dispute over what some wording on a condition really meant. Now, our position was that clearly in our planning it said we can carry out that fuelling. The council's position was that it said you can't. The service we offer here is quite unique in that we can offer rotors running. We've had situations in the past, certainly with the Coast Guard, where that actually offers critical time saving.
Well, you're a long way from anywhere else that can do that.
A very long way, and we used to be just down the road from RAF Bulmer when they had search and rescue there, but obviously when the Sea Kings were removed, it's now over to a Coast Guard contract. They come from as far as Humberside and Prestwick, so by the time they've got on task in this area in Northumberland, they've already used a lot of fuel, and it means really their time actually on a search is really restricted unless they can get fuel quite quickly. If they were to go somewhere a bit bigger, say, locally, they would have to shut down and they can't offer rotors running, so it really does add time to them.
And the CAA has got involved, and I was going to say for once they've been quite helpful. They can be quite helpful when they want to be, and they've helped you out on this, haven't they?
They have, and our experience has been very positive actually with the group that they've set up to assist airfields. They've been incredibly supportive, attended meetings with the council. James Head, who leads that unit, nothing but a credit to them. They've been really, really good, so nothing but good words to say about them there.
And they've written a letter, I think, in support of the aerodrome and what you were trying to do.
Yeah, they have, and it was really to sort of make the local authority understand where the CEA come into things and kind of where the boundaries of what the local authority should be doing, because they didn't perhaps realise that. So in that regard, they've been really, really useful.
And they've also been having a go at you about camping under the wing, which is something we've all done at aerodromes for
Yes.
years and years and years.
Yeah, so essentially they turned around and said, you cannot camp on site anymore. Seems like a real minor issue, but actually, you know, when we have big events coming on this year, people flying into them, of course it's quite normal to want to camp under your aircraft. It doesn't make the aerodrome a campsite,
No.
but it's a kind of a thing that just does happen at airfields, and in my mind, does it really need planning permission?
And I think you've sorted that now, haven't you?
That should also be resolved
Yeah.
within this planning permission.
So let's get on to the reason why I'm kind of here, which is to find out what the visiting experience is like for a pilot. So you operate air to ground here. I noticed there was no response when I called.
Yeah.
Pilots shouldn't, worry about that if they're not used to flying into an unlicensed airfield. That's quite normal.
Yeah, so the radio's there in the clubhouse. If there is someone that's trained and can respond to you, they will. But what I would say is make blind calls, listen into the other circuit traffic. Generally, the flight school here is quite busy, and there'll be someone else that might be able to give you some advisory information.
The runways are reasonably short by comparison to other airfields.
Yes.
And you say on your website about a steep approach, or steep
Yes.
approaches. Talk
Yeah.
to me about that.
Yeah, so at two ends of the runways there's trees on the approach. It does mean you're going to be coming in a lot steeper than usual. So in terms of you know, a first pilot's visit, if they haven't done that before, I would certainly get familiar with it somewhere else first. It is steep, and it's getting used to that perspective, and also the adjustment to the flare on a narrow runway as well. So there's quite a few sort of performance things to think about there, you know, human factors even. The other end of the runway, there's a piece of farming equipment again, which is a steep approach. So it is kind of an Eshott type rating in itself, which is quite interesting, because when we train pilots here, they then go off to other aerodromes and they don't know what to do with all this space. They think they can land 5 times, you know. So I'd say just be aware of it. You know, have a good look at the Poulou's plate, perhaps fly through first, have a look at it, get comfortable, particularly when passing over the trees, be aware of any turbulence that may be caused by them. And that's really why you're doing that high approach, to make sure you're clear from the turbulence.
After landing, I did notice rather abruptly that your taxiway is in a bit of a bad shape.
Yeah.
That's not in use, really.
That's right. So the taxiway at the bottom of 01 there is a former World War II taxiway, and it's now just used as a road, so please don't taxi down it.
Taxi across the grass, backtrack the runways, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What about visitors that need to stay here for a while? Maybe there's some weather coming through. Can we talk about tie downs and hangarage?
Yeah, so if someone needs to stay for a while, if the weather's particularly looking bad, which up here in the northeast, you know, it can be, then we'll of course always try and arrange hangarage, move things around to accommodate them. If it's not too bad and they can go outside, we've got tie downs on the hard standing, or we've got tie down screws for the grass, so we'll always assist them where we can to get things secure.
What about disabled pilots? I can see that I can park, or they can park, quite close to the clubhouse here. The ground is a little bit uneven and gravelly, but they should be able to get in okay with a wheelchair, would you say?
Yeah, I would say so. Like you say, they can park quite close to the clubhouse there. We have ramps into the cafe, ramp for the toilet facilities and clubhouse, so we'll always assist in getting people in where we need to.
What is it you're trying to do here then? So what kind of airfield are you trying to be?
So our vision here really is to make the airfield into something which is a community asset, you know, and something that local people see as a real positive thing to have in Northumberland. I'm very aware that if you're sat in your garden seeing an aeroplane buzzing round and round and round, you don't particularly like aeroplanes, it becomes quite irritating. But actually we want people to see the real benefit to it being here. Part of that's been opening the cafe here, which pulls people in, families. They'll spend hours and hours sat here drinking cups of tea, throwing model aeroplanes and just watching what's going on, because to the Joe public this is really interesting, just what's happening. And then also holding sort of charity events, bringing people in, seeing the place. Our grand master plan though, shall we say, is not to create some massive Heathrow-esque airport. It's really to focus on vintage aircraft, having a real nice feel here. Our interest is in classic vehicles, classic aeroplanes, and that's what we want to promote.
So the cafe is open from Thursday to Sunday, 10 till 4 at the moment. They're just in the process of opening a new kitchen, so the menu's a little bit limited at the time of recording, but obviously check in with them, they may have more on offer. They kind of do breakfast rolls, bacon, egg rolls, doorstep sandwiches, and I've seen them, they are doorstep, but as you know, I'm having to be very good at the moment with my carbs, so doorstep sandwiches not great, but quite a range of doorstep sandwiches. Kids lunches, which is good to see, snacks, ice cream, sorbets, hot drinks and cold drinks. They were very kind as well. They made me some pulled pork salad. So the special today was pulled pork on a brioche bun. They were very good. They made me a pulled pork salad. Also on the specials they've got lemon drizzle cake and marshmallow and Mars bar crispy, which is going down very well with the kids.
Northumberland is the kind of place that you might want to spend a few nights in order to tour the coast, the castles and the countryside. The airfield can help you with local taxi numbers. There's a bus stop about 20 minutes walk away that has a service to Morpeth and Newcastle, and they'll often give you a lift if you aren't going far, as they did in my case.
This is Richard. Say hello, Richard.
Hi everyone.
Richard is, what's the best way of describing you? Manager, partner?
Yeah, so one of the owners who runs the site, and I run the flying school.
Okay.
My business partner Sam does sort of the engineering side of it. In between us, we sort of run Eshott and all the madness that happens there. So that is us, and we're just on our way to Eshott Hall, which is one of our very excellent local hotels, and I think you'll have a lovely night there.
Eshott Hall is a Georgian country house hotel just an 8-minute drive away from the airfield. It's surrounded by ancient woodland, rolling lawns and a walled garden. I paid £216 for dinner, bed and breakfast for a Saturday night stay in May.
Now it seems very quiet here, but the only rooms I was able to book were rooms in a kind of annex, a stable, it's called, stable room, and that's just over here, just away from the main building. And this is my room here, Mill Reef. So here we are, this is my room. Turn the lights on so we can see what we're doing. Yeah, quite a basic room, quite a basic and a small room for the price. You know, it wasn't cheap to stay here. Maybe you might expect something a bit bigger, but nice looking bed, contemporary furniture, the decor's very tasteful, the bathroom's very modern, lots of clean tiles, clean walls and a nice walk-in shower. So I think I'll have a comfortable night here. Looking forward to dinner now actually, worked up quite an appetite.
The main building of the hotel is full of character. I enjoyed relaxing with a drink in the library, and the food in the restaurant was excellent. My time visiting Eshott is coming to an end.
So this is a bit of a unscripted conclusion about my visit to Eshott. What do I think of the place? It's quite relaxed. It's got a nice atmosphere, a nice cafe, nice people. It's easy to get in and out of. The airspace around here is fine. It's right on the Northumberland coast, and that is a beautiful coast to fly up and down. Yes, the runways are a bit short, the taxiways are a bit gravelly, shall we say, but all in all, a very enjoyable stay here in Northumberland.
Thank you for watching this Flying Reporter Aerodrome review, sponsored by AOPA UK. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe for more useful and inspirational general aviation video content. Until next time, fly safely, my friends.